Hello fellow YouTubers, this is Yuto Moses here for my 28 DVD and Blu-ray update. So let's begin. For DVDs, starting off, I have Elite Squad: The Enemy Within, which is a sequel to the first Elite Squad, revolving around police corruption in Rio de Janeiro, while this one, it involves the police captain trying to uphold a prison riot, along with taking down some huge gangs that's been forming and taking over the slums. Now, I've watched the first Elite Squad and thought it was pretty neat, and this is directed by the same person who has made City of God, and a lot of people consider that movie to be the favorite of all time. And I happened to find this at a Walmart while every other store didn't have this in stock, so I just decided to pick it up. Next one is Porco Rosso, the Hayao Miyazaki film, which is about a former ace pilot who has mysteriously turned into a humanoid pig and has to face off with his old rival along with some sky pirates that's been hanging around in Italy. Now, I think this is the most underrated Hayao Miyazaki film that he has made, since a lot of people don't know about it and it hasn't got the recent Studio Ghibli update. And being that the new film, The Secret World of Arrietty, is being released, they had this sale on Studio Ghibli films that was going on at a good price, so I felt like picking it up. And what I like about it is that the English dub for Porco Rosso is done by Michael Keaton, who you best know him as Batman for the two Tim Burton films, and for playing Beetlejuice. So, that's something pretty neat to know. Next one, or the next three, I got at a flea market where my friends were selling them for good prices, and they are pretty rare to find. And they are Laura, which is about a detective trying to find a murderer who's been stalking around a park, so he goes to the suspect named Laura, who's been swindling with a bunch of men. This is a pretty good film noir, and I've heard about it being on IMDb's top 250s list when I first found out about it, so I picked that up. Next one is Raise the Red Lantern, which takes place in 1920 China, where a woman is doomed to marry a man that she doesn't love, and every night, when they're about to make love or spend the night together, they hang up a red lantern in front of their room to show that they're going to do something together. And this forms a rivalry between the four sisters, which leads to treachery and tragedy. And this one, I was pretty interested in the story of it, and I can be pretty open to pretty much any of these kinds of films. And next one is Lady Vengeance, directed by Chan-wook Park, which is about a woman who is in prison for 13 years and gets out to sworn revenge against the man who has imprisoned her and killed the child from when she was young. And what's interesting about this is that it doesn't just revolve around the main character, but also the inmates that help her out and give them pretty good backstories. And the complaint that I kind of have with this, along with Old Boy, another Chan-wook Park film, was that there were a lot of scenes that were going to be shocking, but they never really show it to you, and that's a pity, but I still really like this movie for what it was, and hopefully you'll check it out and see for yourself. Now on to the Blu-rays. Now my first one, or the first three, is the Three Colors trilogy on Criterion Blu-ray, which are some French films that deal with a certain story and theme to each one. And I want to start off by saying how neat the packaging looks. Just by the cover, it's a box set, and each movie comes with its own individual case. And I'm going to start with The Color Blue, which stars Juliette Binoche, who's a widow dealing with the death of her husband and child from a car accident, I believe, and she reminisces of the times she had with her old husband. The Color White deals with a man who tries to pursue his dream of heading into Wasson or some different country, while he's still dealing with his wife's divorce for setting a hairdresser on fire. And the last one, The Color Red, concerns a unlikely relationship with a runaway model and a retired judge. And the difference with them, or the similarities, is that one of them stars Juliette Binoche, while she has a cameo in the other two films. And I thought that, and I first heard about it on IMDb's 250s list, and of course, because you're probably getting tired of me bringing that up, but I thought they were really interesting and like some of the special features on it, such as the short films, documentaries, and featurettes that's in each one. So, yeah, this was pretty pricey. I wouldn't recommend you to get it unless you're on a budget. And last one is Hugo on Blu-ray Combo Pack. Now, I really liked this movie. It isn't the best of 2011, but it's pretty close. And I've got through all the special features in like an hour and a half. There really isn't much on here, but I'm glad that it won all the Oscars that it got. And I always thought that sound editing and sound mixing was the same thing, but apparently it isn't if it has a separate category in the Oscars. And I just wish that it could have won Best Picture, even though it only got all the Oscars for technical categories, while the artists have won Best Picture. But hopefully I'll be able to check that out very soon. So that's all for my update. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back later. Until then, this is Utah Moses, signing out.